Reunited deserves to be the best team in Europe. So you have to favor them, and you can't just take maybe a few games that happened today and yesterday as why it should be 50-50. And I have to believe that and think that they are the ones that should be winning this. And that if Creation were to get something going, I think Reunited should be a little bit worried.
Yeah, I mean, Reunited, so one of the things going way back, Slasher, before I think even you were casting these things heavily, is that I think Reunited shook this for a while, but maybe it's coming back, is that Reunited was known for being one of the most inconsistent of all teams way back in the beginning, where they would take teams off, or take games and series off the very best teams in the game, and then they would inexplicably drop series to teams that were generally seen as below their weight class. So Reunited does have a streak of sort of going, okay, we're really good, and then, oh, we're having some issues actually being these teams. And you sort of wonder which Reunited is going to show up. Now, over the last few months, I think they've sort of gone away from that. They've been way more consistent, but, you know, maybe the 2-week break has sort of made that show its head again.
Yeah, they had a couple brutal weeks when they were trying to just kind of reshuffle their roster, as I think they had Mendo on their roster for a while, and he left, and then they were just...
Well, it's high noon somewhere in the world.
Hex, are you still there? All right, so Skype is doing its Skype things again. So that means I'm going to be running down the rosters, as hopefully Hex and Slasher rejoin me here in a moment. For the defense coming out from the side of Reunited, it's going to be Too Easy on the Symmetra, Volotaja on the McCree, Winghaven on Reinhardt, Cruz on Lucio, Morte on the Mercy, and Unfixed on Junkrat. And are you guys back with me?
Yeah, I'm back with you. Slasher, are you ready to see Lynx on Pharah? Should be fun.
Yes, it should. I think that is a big decision for players on offense now. Do I try to do Widow and get the picks, or do I try to go over the top and create space for my offense to make things happen?
Volotaja able to get first pick of the game on the Bromos. That's going to be one attacker down as they try and move in. And this is where Creation, they probably won't be too aggro here until they get Bromos back up. It's very difficult to push into Hollywood unless you have your full team there. But Lynx right now very content to just poke him with Pharah and hope for the best. And good for him at the very least is that he does not have to deal with an enemy Widowmaker, at least for now.
No, and I think that's probably the reason why he's doing it. Because he should be able to beat Junkrat.
Yep, he's moving over the top. A beautiful rocket splashes 3 people. Numlock gets on Unfixed. And Creation looking pretty strong as he moves in here. Winghaven, though, gets the double kill as Reinhardt swings the hammer for Glory, but a big resurrection going to come out here for Creation. Creation now swarming on top of the point. Bromos with the double kill. Everyone for Creation is up right now, and this could be a very quick cap of point A.
Yeah, Too Easy's got a teleporter. He just drops it right now. They're going to try to kind of stagger reinforcements. It might be a little too late, though.
Yeah, it's absolutely too late. The resurrection was not enough people, and it was just kind of, they were swarmed from the beginning, so very good attack here from Creation. Not entirely capped us yet.
Yeah, it goes down now. Yeah, Winghaven went in there, tried to maybe stall it out, expecting his team to follow up with it. They did not. He got crushed, so now they're still trying to delay this. Volotaja comes and gets a pick on our tier.
It's actually even worse. So because the teleporter was still up and the point was being captured, with the teleporter going down, now that they're going to capture the point, everyone that just spawned right now is going to be all the way at the furthest spawn. And because the way the spawns work in this game, once the point is captured, you are now spawning at the second spawn point, the spawn point where you were once the offense is pushing the payload. So it's really harsh on you when the team captures it at the very end after people die near the cafe.
We've talked a lot on Hollywood about momentum, and here we go. Ground time coming out, going to get 2 people in. Lynx with the barrage, gets 2, looks for 3, not able to get it. Too Easy able to take him out of the sky at the very end. That could have been way worse. Too Easy now bring this back with the double kill, really saving Reunited pretty heavily here. Even though they're giving up a decent amount of payload progress, that could have been way worse for them, as Too Easy picks up the triple kill. And Lynx needs to do something about this sooner rather than later. And Slasher, to your point they were just saying here, Hollywood is oftentimes very momentum-based, and if the offense gets the momentum that Creation just did, usually the defense has a hard time recovering, but Reunited was able to pull it out and stabilize here.
Lynx comes up on Widowmaker, has had enough of being shot in the sky by Too Easy, who's on his Widow, but a huge ultimate advantage for Reunited right now. Everyone's got ults.
Yeah, actually they had all 6, now they have wall hacks. I mean, the best teams with the ult advantage, you don't want to use all of your ults to win team fights. You want to only use 1 or 2, and then be able to save the rest to win continuous team fights.
We do have the Deadeye coming out over the top. No one getting killed by that just yet. Here comes Lynx. He's able to get that Riptide with the grapple shot. Beautiful shot there coming out there to save his team. Now looking for a little bit more to get it. We'll have to be careful, of course, of the Widowmaker of Too Easy. That is where the real fight is being fought right now. This is what Lynx is looking at. No, Too Easy is able to take him out. Too Easy wins that Widowmaker fight. Is able to grapple to the top. Almost gets taken out by McCree. Able to sort of get out very luckily there. As Voltaja now doing some cleanup on the ground. Gets the double kill. You know, one thing I'll say, though, here is that Reunited, even though they're getting kills, they're giving up a lot of payload progress.
This is really smart. This is what we've seen a Creation do before. They're content. If they lose a fight early on or lose 1 or 2 players, they're not going to try to just fight back and maybe hope to pull back. They're going to get what they can off of that card. This allows them to not have to push through the 2 rooftops. They can come to a wider angle here and maybe take a more favored fight in a better position.
They have not been able to push the cart probably as much as they had wanted to, considering that went pretty well. And now Creation continues having ult advantage, and just based on ult advantage alone, they've been able to stall this out 2.5 minutes.
You see a Junkrat Tire coming out now from Unfixed. Junkrat Tire going in, will take out Bromos. 3, now 4 kills here for Reunite on this defense. Really getting kills all across the map. Everyone getting in the participation in Creation, going to find themselves wiped yet again. They do have 3 minutes and 22 seconds left to get through the second stage point, but that can be very, very deceiving because it's just, we've seen time and time again that teams can really get stalled out here in the Streets phase.
Unless I missed a resurrection, I think Dracaeus has had this same res for the last 2 minutes.
Hey, no one's died. There's not enough people who have died.
Oh, and Too Easy goes down the Lynx. That's the pick they needed. Now 6v5. He gets another beautiful grapple shot. A double kill for Lynx. Voltaja takes him out, but the damage being done immediately there. That was beautiful coming out from Lynx. We'll see if Voltaja now can turn this around for his team. We're going to take out the enemy McCree. Not able to do it just yet. Bromos trying to get on. No, he's just a little bit of choking there from Voltaja as Bromos and Vol is still fighting it out. Fanning the hammer. I'm not sure how neither of them has died yet. Bromos able to get it out in the end. Voltaja arguably should have had that, and because he didn't get that, Bromos gets a double kill. Voltaja even doing the smiley face in chat. He knows that that was a little bit awkward, but Creation going to take the fight.
That was huge. That was awkward. That was so big. Now they get the checkpoint. Now Reunite has a chance to
I'm not gonna lie, that's the type of thing where Voltaja is like, I hope that's not on cast. I'm sorry, Voltaja. So Unfixed taking out Bromos, RT on the Winghaven, both teams down a player. Unfixed coming in big. Unfixed actually been a little bit silent here so far today, but now starting to make his point known as he picks up the triple kill. Bromos and Artier though fighting right back. An absolute brawl is in progress here. Deadeye now up for Bromos, looking for whatever he can get as Numlock picks up a double kill. Bromos' Deadeye almost not even needed there in the end, and Creation with all the momentum on their side right now.
Yeah, both Cowboys are hanging out at spawn. They're just going to flashbang anyone who tries to come out. They have to wait and spawn to group up and come out of this. Actually, both McCree smartly retreat now, knowing that they're going to be facing 2v6 in a moment.
Too Easy switching to Winston off of Widow, so he's going to try to jump Winston instead.
Deadeye coming up from Voltaja right now. Not able to get anything off that. Soundbearer, though, is up for Creation. Creation wants to end this right here, right now. They're rushing in off that ultimate. Both teams still at full strength, looking for whatever they can get. Winghaven going to get the first kill on the Numlock. Gets another kill. Winghaven on the double. Now swinging the hammer. Dracaeus has to run for her life. And no, she goes forward into the hammer. Will evade it, at least a little bit. But Winghaven getting way more done than he probably should have towards the end of that. Bromos, though, cleaning things up. Gets a double kill. And kind of a stalemate here between the offense and defense, but could have been worse for Creation. Deadeye now coming up from Bromos after that.
Gotta get on the cart. You gotta get on the cart.
Yeah, no, the Creation almost snuck that cart. Reunite was not looking. Another Deadeye coming out. Absolutely scrappy here on the payload as both teams fighting it out. And Winghaven just cannot move from this for any reason whatsoever. Artier coming in. And both teams now fighting out. Reunite has to be careful not to lose too many people here. They could get stuck in an unescapable death spiral. Only Winghaven Voltaja remaining there with Cruz. Offensive Soundbearers out. Widowmaker from Lynx now getting some play in, and this should be a cap for Creation here in just a moment.
Well, we got Tracers coming. I don't know.
The Tracer delay is happening. Reunited probably won't be able to fight this back now, but they can delay for a while and hope for a Miracle Pulse Bomb. A beautiful charge in from Numlock, though, as they cap as all 4 people are on the ground. My goodness.
Winghaven came so close to just killing the whole team there. He actually was probably the player of the match for Reunited. He was really keeping them in the game there. And he almost came even longer, but otherwise, solid place for Creation. And you can say that mistake that we saw earlier by Valtaja might have cost them. Actually.
Winghaven's an interesting
I mean,
player.
I feel like you could go back to that exchange between Valtaja and Bromos and just play the Benny Hill music, because that, I mean, I don't know if you guys were watching first person view, but that was just a weird instance where both players just missed everything. It was, oh man.
Well, you mentioned Winghaven being the player of the match, and his kind of play mirrors just Reunited as a whole. Early on, when they'd struggle and be inconsistent, Winghaven was extremely inconsistent. There'd be games where he would dominate, and there'd be a game where he missed every single charge. Lately, he's been much more consistent in his play, and is just a top-tier Reinhardt.
So, Reunited with a time just under 8 minutes. That does give them the silver time. They get 2 points for Hollywood, and now Creation is going to have to bring this right back.
Yeah, it's hopefully you see a little more Pharah. I mean, it's just so hard to see Pharah in the meta that really, really promotes Widowmakers. So we'll see what they run here. It does not look like Creation is going to run a builder meta that Reunited ran to really no effect early on. So it shows you that, you know, Symmetra used to be good. The staple in the meta, Cloud9 still runs a Symmetra to great effect, but the Symmetra really cost them that first point early on for Reunited.
All right, so looking here at the defense, rolling out here for Creation Esports. It's going to be Bromos and Artier on the pair of McCree's, Nox on the Lucio, Dracaeus on Mercy, Numlocked on the Reinhardt, and Lynx on the Junkrat.
You know, the round instead of Widow, it seems to be pretty good. Sometimes it doesn't work, and that's why we saw offense run Pharah, and now we might see it again, actually, which I think is the right decision to make. If you don't have to deal with Widow, then you should do Pharah, because Pharah generally will be the Junkrat. So Widow seems to be the better pick to me in the long run, but I think that Junkrat at a top tier can be done as well. Just much more difficult.
Well, we mentioned Unfixed being a little bit quiet last game. His Pharah has gotten so much better in the last few months. It's been amazing to watch. He's going to be running that Pharah. Cruz, of course, on Lucio. Winghaven on Reinhardt. Too easy. He's going to actually flex onto Zarya. Morte will be Mercy, and Valataja on McCree. Very standard Reunited lineup on offense.
Yeah, Reunited coming out, and Unfixed, like you mentioned, he has really leveled up his game in recent days. We'll see if he can channel that here on Pharah. Good Pharah play oftentimes can be the key to cracking this, but against Dylan McCree, he's going to have to be really careful. He can very easily get shot out of the sky. So both teams right now exchanging poke. Reunited not wanting to go in too quickly, but Lynx gets absolutely torpedoed by Unfixed there, and now the speed boost is out. Reunited smells blood in the water, and we're going to see just how this works out. There's 3-4 kills now for United as they move in. Not even flashy, but just good solid play coming out from Unfixed. And as a result, this might be a very, very quick cap here for Reunited.
I could not have gone better. Bromos actually switches up immediately. He's going to play a defensive Reaper here.
Well, I mean, and that was my point, right? So what did Rat do with Lynx? Nothing. He died immediately, and then the whole site is opened up, because then I think what was it, Bromos? I just jumped in with McCree to try to kill Unfix, and then he dies, and then it's 4 left, and 6 on 4, and how can you defend in that way? Widow seems to be the safer pick, or at least Torbjorn on first point.
Well, a Widow can do nothing and still have an impact.
Well, speaking of Widow, we have Lynx in the back here looking for pickoffs for the Creation side. Not getting just yet, but almost kills too easy outright. Winghaven able to take out Numlocked, but the defense now coming in. Bromos getting that Reaper kill. Now looking for more, chasing down Cruz. Going to get stunned out and killed by McCree, but the Resurrection coming up from Dracaeus. A lot of Fallen Heroes coming up here for the defense. Resurrection coming from both sides. Winghaven with a huge Earth Shatter, knocks down 2 people. Going to charge in, get a kill off of that, and Reunited still moving forward here, really sort of bullying around Creation at the moment.
Yep, Morte with a kill. Now, not often you see a Mercy on that side of the kill feed, but whips out the pistol, takes out Artier. That pistol does a ton of damage.
Pistol really, really does do a ton of damage. People underestimate it too. It's like, oh, it's just a Mercy pistol. It's like, no, if you get headshots, it will absolutely obliterate. We do have Sound Barrier though coming up from the defense. Creation wanting to put matters into their own hands. They are moving forward, but a counter Deadeye coming out here from the McCrees. Artier and Valtaja trading off. Bromos coming in big with the double kill. And as a result, Creation should be able to hold this. Some life in them yet, really taking it to Reunited in a game that thus far Reunited has been sort of dominating.
The saddest Graviton I've ever seen hits absolutely nothing.
Reunited is able to push the cart though,
No one can hide
a decent
from
amount.
my
So
sight.
if they are able to win and wipe a team.
Oh, we just had a huge pick up there. Too easy, able to take out Lynx. That's going to open the gates for him and then some. Note though, Unfixed was taken out. Baltaja on the Bromos. Still the momentum going in favor of Reunited as Too Easy looking for one more pick off. Reinhardt though making it a little bit difficult. He's going to grapple over the top and try and get in on this from behind. And there it is. He has beautiful shots here on the Mercy. If he can land them, not able to take advantage of the opportunity. That could have been huge, but now he's just going to have to back out. And we'll see if Reunited can recover here. As he takes out Lynx again. Too Easy on point with this Widow v Widow game. He's going in on the back yet again, going for the well, trying to take out the McCree, going for the Deadeye, does in fact do that. He has attracted the attention of the Creation Esports people in the back, but Winghaven on the cart is able to pick up the triple kill, and as a result, Reunited attacking both sides, able to get through here, and they're on track to set a very quick time here in Hollywood.
I feel like I'm going to be piling on, and maybe it's not always the optimal situation to use it or something like that, but I feel like Dracaeus has died a lot when he's had Resurrection available. Not just this map, but previous maps as well.
Yeah, I mean they have been getting shut down that way. You've seen like Cloud9's technical play with Adam earlier to really show how much of an impact Mercy can have, and it doesn't seem like he's been able to do that same.
Fire strike coming in here from the defense. Creation definitely wants to solidify a little bit here because I believe Reunited is on track to a gold medal time. It's going to be very, very close. They're on the threshold, so really Creation needs to hold for at least a little bit longer here. But Reunited being very, very aggressive, but they eat the Earthshatter from the defense. Doesn't matter as Unfixed picks up the double kill. Instead, Baltaja piling on, does have a Deadeye up as well. That Deadeye is going to be coming up. If he gets even an extra kill here, that might be all Reunited needs to push this next point. Bromos, one of the lone survivors here, gets a double kill. Bromos and Arts here really holding things in here for the side of Creation, but down goes Bromos, and Reunited is not stopping their assault.
No, I think they got it.
And there it is, a very, very aggressive push towards the end. Everyone dying and just lots of contribution. I do believe that was a sub 5-minute finish. We'll find out in just a moment.
I really like the Roadhog pick in a lot of those situations, especially kind of on points where you're going to be struggling to close out the map and get those last few meters, because his ultimate is kind of has the same positional ability as a Winston. So not only does it do damage, but it knocks people off the cart where you can so easily stall it out on the final points in a lot of these payload maps.
Wow, so this is actually right on the margins of our times. That is, they barely missed the gold by 8 seconds. And Creation got, or only kept silver by about 7 seconds, so right within the margins. That is rough, so that means both teams with 2 points for the map.
Yeah, pure stopwatch may be a better indicator sometimes, but this is the rule set we're trying out. Both teams with the same score, even though the times are a little bit off here. But I mean, Reunited looks like the better team right now, very easily.
Yeah, I mean, Reunited, they were very, very close to that sub 5-minute time there. Only need a little bit more. So we're going to be moving on to the next map. Next map, I believe...
Dorado,
yeah. Want to make those sure that I wasn't losing my mind for a second.
Well,
but
I said
Dorado will be
Creation was
next
out
map.
of the tournament like 30 minutes ago, so, you know, maybe I'm wrong on this one, too. I think it's Dorado, though. Slasher, you've been right about everything so far.
I believe it is. Yeah.
So anything surprising you guys about that last game? I mean, honestly, it was pretty close as we expected from these both teams. I thought Reunited's attack was extremely good, though, going in on their Hollywood run. I mean, it had a lot more aggression in it than I was really expecting going in.
Winghaven made a lot of plays that game, and so did Unfixed. And we've seen so far the value of the flex DPS player and how much they can bring to the team. It was Bromos earlier, doing a lot of work for Creation against Nuberus, and now we have on this game, Unfixed was a big part of why they won that offense so quickly, and him being able to open up space with Pharah, and him being able to, you know, make plays. I will say though that this does showcase very easily the issue with Overwatch and playing defense and you having to pick your composition. The reason I suggested Link should play Widow, of course he's an amazing Widow and you think he's one of the best in the world. That's a great reason to do it anyway. But it's a coin flip because you have to choose a defense. An offense could, as we've seen, see the run out of spawn, go to point A, which takes like 10 seconds, see what the defense is running, run back, which does take another 10 seconds, but they can completely switch based on what the defense is. The defense cannot react based on the offense and go back to spawn because it's so far away to change your composition. You have to guess on defense what the offense is going to run, and even if they spend a little bit of time to completely change it because they see what you run, you can do nothing to counter that. The only thing you can do is play as best as you can and then change on your first death. And if you all happen to die on your one of these team fights, even if you win 2 or 3, you can't do anything because you will all be wiped and you can't get back to respawn time. And that's some of the problem with these pro games, and we see offense win all the time, is because it's really hard to win these games as defense. That's how impressive it is when it does happen.
Yeah, I'm wondering just if teams are maybe outthinking themselves in some situations too. Like, I don't mind Junkrat on Hollywood defense there, but there's like tried and proven methods of good heroes on Hollywood defense. I'm surprised we don't see more 76 there. I'm actually really surprised that Widow's just not standard on Hollywood defense. It denies so many options for the offense. And yes, a Junkrat's going to be good at, getting damage, maybe a clutch tire here and there, and slowing them down, but you're not going to stop them. You're not playing to win at that point. You're playing to slow them down on first points. And I'm just really surprised that with the success we've seen from Widows and from 76s in a Hollywood defense, that it hasn't become just much more standard.
All right, so looking here at the defense rolling out here for the side of Creation. They're going to be on the defense first this time. Reunited opting to attack. It's going to be Lynx on the Widowmaker, Bromos and Arts here on a pair of Devil McCrees, Dracaeus on Mercy, Numlocked on Reinhardt, and Nox rounding things out on the Symmetra. So Symmetra making her return here on Drow defense, one of the maps where teams still very, very willing to run her.
Yeah, a lot of places to put the teleporter. And if you can hide it, I think it is really solid, especially with the tight chokes and for turrets and for balls. I love those balls, man.
Well, I mean, there's just a lot of open space. It's really hard to get all the way back there to deal with the teleporter. And if you are in that open space trying to get back to the teleporter, you're probably going to get sniped by the Widowmaker, who's going to be on this ledge here. Lynx is actually getting kind of cheeky on this left ledge, maybe looking for some really early snipes. But Lynx is going to be on that Widowmaker. Bromos and Arts here on a pair of Cowboys. Dracaeus on Mercy, Numlocked on Reinhardt, and Nox, as you mentioned, is playing Symmetra.
So again, we're going to be watching the Widowmakers here in the beginning. Too Easy versus Lynx. Round 2 about to begin. Both players have gotten their shots in on each other. I'd say overall it's been relatively even. I mean, both of them have had their moments. Maybe Too Easy's gotten the better of Lynx a little bit more than the other, but either way, it's been close.
Yeah, so just kind of the slow push through the archway is coming down, and then generally once a team feels that they have a small advantage, I mean, there's just so much poke going on, but the first pick is going to signal that a giant fight's going to happen, either offense or defense. A lot of times defense will take the fight to the offense if they get a pick early.
Too Easy right now looking for that all-important first pick. Does get some damage done. Does not get the headshot he needs. Widowmaker very, very dependent on getting headshots, just because if you don't get a full kill on someone, they're usually healed up relatively quickly. Both teams still at full strength here, which is surprising given how far Reunited has pushed this payload here thus far. Too Easy is finally able to get the first pick up. Does take out Numlocked. Voltaja on the Bromos. Resurrection will be coming out here from Dracaeus, but he dies in the process, so Reunited still with a lot of momentum going forward here. Too Easy gets a pick on Numlocked again, and really, he is free to just snipe at will. Voltaja cleaning up his kills after Too Easy weakens them, and Reunited looking pretty dominant here on the first point of Dorado.
Teleporter is up. They're going to be able to reinforce. It's not first point yet.
That Earthshatter went down, but I don't think it hit anyone. The payload blocking a lot of it. Bromos and Arts here, though, still getting some value off it. 2 McCree kills for them. Resurrection, though, going to bring up those fallen heals for Reunited. And Creation needs to do more if they want to hold, but a beautiful fire strike comes in from Winghaven, picks up the double kill. And this should be a point cap here for Reunited.
Yeah, Numlock completely whiffed on that Earthshatter, mostly thanks to Unfixed on Zarya. He had his ally shield, himself shield, both saved. Zarya's ultimate is about up for Unfixed. He's also very good on Zarya. So much so, Numlock was so upset with his Earthshatter missing. He switched to Winston momentarily, but he's back on Reinhardt. Graviton Surge is upcoming, though. Let's see if this one's finally good. Our first good Graviton of the day.
REUNITED's got 5 ults now. They have a good chance of just storming through here pretty quick.
I'm going to note here, Bromos is setting up on the Reaper, one of the few players that likes playing Reaper quite a bit. We've seen him get good value on it in the past, and now he's moving over the top with the speed boost, getting into the back line. Although he's going to find Voltaja, has to immediately wait for him not to die to that Deadeye. Both teams still at full strength. Bromos, though, having to back up, not in the greatest position as Reaper anymore, and a big Earth Shatter coming down from the offense. Winghaven able to take out Numlocked, Cruz on the Decayus. Lynx, though, firing back on the double kill as well, looking for the third. Mercy in trouble, has to run for her life. Morte now dodging 80-80, strafing, not wanting to get hit. But meanwhile, Voltaja getting the triple kill on top of the payload. The double threat here for REUNITED is absolutely real, and Creation having a lot of trouble holding them back.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really tough for Creation to hold that. I mean, just the ult advantage that REUNITED has. They should be lucky they got as many kills as they did. Lynx actually stayed alive for that long. Distracted. But now, you know, 7 minutes to hold.
Can I just say Winghaven has been playing out of his mind here so far. I mean, getting charge kill after charge kill, good Earth Shatters. The last round and a half has just been absolutely great for him. That's a big reason as to why REUNITED is pushing so deep in right now.
He's always had flashes of brilliance, but he just doesn't have bad games anymore. I can't remember really the last big mistake Winghaven's made. He's always playing good and oftentimes great, like he's played the last 2 maps.
You see Deadeye now coming out from Voltaja. We'll see if he gets anything off this wing for the shield to drop, and he does get the double kill off that Deadeye. Resurrection gonna bring up the Fallen. Will not be bringing up R-Tier, though, as R-Tier died right after the Resurrection. 4 kills for REUNITED, looking for more, make it 5, and Creation just getting smacked around right now as REUNITED is able to do whatever they want. The kill feed hasn't had a blue kill in it in favor of them for, I don't even know, the last minute? This has been brutal.
For a while.
Offensive sound barrier coming up. Diva's coming out now to try and stall out a little bit. Too easy, able to take out Lynx. Winghaven on the R-Tier. And this is just nothing less than domination coming out from REUNITED right now. Deadeye from Voltaja in the back, going to take out Nox. Double kill for him to finish that out. Numlock finally getting 1 kill in the end, but REUNITED just did whatever they wanted there. And this isn't even the first time we've seen REUNITED just have a crazy game on Dorado.
Everyone's on fire. Everyone's been on fire for like the last 4 minutes straight, is how much domination they've had, and didn't get mechanic works on like damage done, like never dying. So if you're on fire for that long, something's really a problem. REUNITED was just rolling through without much of anything that Creation could do.
Yeah, it started off relatively bloodless, kind of a slow start, but once the fighting started, they just had the right side of the fight every single time. And, you know, the only small highlight was Lynx getting a couple picks when he was behind, but it didn't bother them at all. They got good resurrections in, just absolute steamroll, and nothing more to say about it.
So now this puts us in a more classical stopwatch point of view where Creation has a very, very small window where they can actually win the game versus REUNITED here. They have to get a sub 5-minute time, and REUNITED's time was just about at that 5-minute mark. They had to fly through the map, so very, very rough times here for Creation.
I like that wording there, ZP. Traditional stopwatch time. Right now, because the points are even on map 1. So map 2, totally. Creation will have to do it. I mean, this is going to be really tough for them. That was pretty brutal. Numlock has not played nearly as well as Winghaven. I think some of it is Numlock comes from TF2, and he was not playing tank for the majority of the first and second beta phases. So him coming into this team after partying with G2 and that whole organization, he's had to take on a new role. And you can see that people that have been playing tank from the very first beta phase that really loved their tank play, such as Winghaven, such as like Mesrar and Milo and Kai and Devitt, for example, they excel at it because they've been in that mode for so long.
Well, I mean, yeah, you mentioned like Winghaven plays tank. That's being a little generous. Winghaven plays Reinhardt. He doesn't really play other tanks. It is rare. When they have to play King of the Hill, he sometimes plays Winston, but even then, if they're struggling a little bit, he'll just switch to Reinhardt. Winghaven is a Reinhardt main.
I'll take a look here at the defense rolling out here for REUNITED. We're going to have Cruz on the Lucio, Voltaja on the McCree, Morte on Mercy, Unfixed on Junkrat, Too Easy on the Symmetra, and Winghaven rounding things out. on the Reinhardt. And again, as you guys were saying, as I've been saying, Winghaven has been having himself a series so far. Just great Reinhardt play across the board.
You know what my problem is? That Reunited knows Creation is going to run the Junkrat. The Lynxer is going against Pharah, which is ultimately a win over the Rat. One, this is an issue with playing defense, but two, it's like Reunited definitely is reading Creation right now and what they're going to be playing.
Yep, and look at this. Lynx just waiting, going in over the top with this damage-boosted Pharah. Looking to get some early picks here, being very, very aggressive. Has to be careful, though. McCree going to bring her to the ground. Still, though, she's going to get full healed, and not a bad approach here from Creation thus far as they move in. Numlock takes out Volataja, and Creation's offense getting more done than I was expecting here early on. If they get 1 or 2 more kills, they might have this in very short order.
Well, too easy has his
going
teleport
deeper
ready to be dropped, but he's got to retreat very far back. It's going behind Arch in the second house here. They're going to get this point almost for free. Winghaven goes down. They're going to come in and contest. It's only too easy and the McCree up.
Yep, and there they go. A big barrage coming up from Lynx to finish things off. That is unbelievable. Creation just having their way with Reunited. Almost a deja vu of last round, but that's unbelievable given the teams have swapped. I was not expecting Creation to come out this strong.
I get it. I will solo Ulti McCree all day as Pharah. I have no problems with it.
Only then can the healing begin, Hex.
Well, I mean, Creation may have given up a really strong time for Reunited there, but they were able to read Reunited and what they're going to play on defense really well, and now they have a better time so far. So if they keep up the
their
pace,
time is absolutely better.
Yeah.
So now Reunited desperately trying to restabilize here. Unfix moving in, tries to take out Bromos, going to get stymied by the Wraith form. Sound Barrier coming out for the defense. Reunited throwing everything at Creation to try and make something stick, but no kills for them just yet. Unfix finally takes out Numlocked. We do have a Deadeye right now coming out here from the offense. Nox takes out Cruz. And this is now back and forth both teams, but a huge resurrection coming in from Dracaeus. Note that Morte is dead. There's not going to be a resurrection for Reunited here. And Creation off the shotguns of Bromos, going to push forward. Bromos with a triple kill, and I still can't believe what I'm seeing right now, given what we just saw a round ago.
I was just watching Dracaeus' health bar the entire time of that fight. If he was able to stay alive and finally get a good res off, which he did, they were going to be able to win that fight. He did. Lynx has his ultimate up. Numlock switches onto Zarya, perhaps trying to hit this wombo combo towards the end with the barrage and the graviton.
You have a Deadeye here coming up from the defense. Volataja able to get rid of Lynx. Noxo on the Winghaven, still 5v5 on top of the point. Bromos going in, not going to get anything done. Volataja now coming alive, being very, very aggressive, looking for an extra pickoff. Might have to back up here a second. Does not want to take Artier plus friends. But if Artier moves that far out, he might as well flashbang and kill him. So Volataja finding his rhythm, and Reunited now finally stabilizing.
Oh, when in doubt, double McCree. Double Winston, double McCree is really good right now. If you're good at it, just as good as like Widow McCree and double Winston. So solid plan. I think it'll probably hold up for a little while, a few minutes. If they can, they'll win.
Yeah, I mean, time-wise, they don't have to hold for that long. I mean, there's only 2 minutes left here for Creation, regardless of what we just saw. Bromos, though, able to take out Cruz early on this fight. Morte still holding on to that resurrection. Lynx coming in for the flank. Is not going to be able to get that barrage off as Unfix shoots him out of the sky. Bromos, though, still making things happen. He's going to have a Reaper ult up in a moment. Might not even need to use it as he takes down 2 with those Hellfire shotguns. The kill feed filling with red. Morte is dead. There will be no more resurrections. And this should be another cap here for Creation, and time-wise, they still have time. They have about a minute 20. They're going to have to absolutely dominate this last phase, but they can set a sub 5-minute time here.
Yeah, Lynx comes off the Pharah. He's now on Genji. He's tired of dealing with 2 McCrees, picking him out of the sky. Numlock has been slowly building this charge up. A Graviton into perhaps a Death Blossom will be nice. Bromos has been holding this Death Blossom for a bit.
I mean, Bromos going on Reaper has definitely been worth it so far, and he has a big opportunity to try to win them the game.
Defense going very, very hard in here. Both Woodson's going in. Here comes the Death Blossom. Bromos takes out not 1, but 2 McCrees. Morte does not have a resurrection up. And Creation moving forward. They still have 40 seconds left. They can do this.
Yeah, this Reaper's been more successful than others, and I think it's because they're running the Zarya too. He doesn't necessarily have to run flanks. He can just go frontline Reaper, try to deal with these Winston. He gets the shield. It helps the Zarya too. It really works well together.
In comes Volataja. Volataja able to get that quick pick on Arts here. An incredibly crucial pick. And now this is gonna let Reunited be a little bit more aggressive. Unfix over the top, gets another 2 kills. The resurrection though from Dracaeus, still alive, going to bring up those fallen heroes, but Taja, being a wrecking ball, gets Lynx down. And Reunited playing this very, very well. They are going to hold on. And wow, Creation made that much more of a game than I was expecting.
Unfixed and Balataja get 6 or 7 kills at the end to save it for Reunited. Those were huge kills. Both of them put Reunited on their back to move them through.
Stop the res. Stop the res, win the game.
Also, Double Winston, really good.
Double
Really
Winston,
good.
very good. I'm still
Really,
just in
really
awe. I mean, that was such a good showing from Creation towards the end.
I think, though, you do see the recipe to maybe, you know, slow down a Double Winston at least. The idea is always, right, you look at the chart, you know, Reaper can counter Winston. The problem is when there's 2 Winstons, you're really in trouble. And I think people need to play Reaper more as, like, kind of that frontline hero. And to do so, you have to have a Zarya with you. And Zarya, I think, is a great tank anyway. So we might see a little more experimentation with that. If Reaper can just go straight ahead through those Winston shields with a Zarya shield on him, might be a little effective, as Bromas finally played a pretty good Reaper there.
Yeah, I mean, Bromoth's Reaper at the end really gave them a shot. Got a lot of big kills and opened it up. They came really close though, but Reunited able to hold down in the end, and Little McCree is hard to beat.
Watch this. Alt on this McCree.
Justice.
There you go.
No, but the big thing there is with the direct rockets, not the Q.
Yeah.
Not the
Yeah,
Q.
not the
X,
Q, but the
okay?
big direct rockets.
Yes. So 6 plays of them, really close. Hard to beat that comp right now. Double Winston, Double McCree, Mercy, Lucio, solid. Solid all the time. Solid throughout this entire tournament. We're probably going to see it in the next 5 minutes. whatever match is next is happening.
So I believe we need to check in on what the next losers bracket match is, but we're going to be covering that elimination matchup, which would be Reunited versus either Gale
LG.
Force, which is formerly...
It's Gale Force. So this is
it's Gale Force or LG?
No, it is Gale Force. It is Gale Force.
Gale Force won?
Yes.
All right, so Gale Force able to upset LG. I mean, it's not really... They've beaten them before, but that's a little bit surprising.
I think it's Gale Force versus LG, yes?
Yes, and this has huge implications if we are...
This is a grudge match.
This is a grudge match, and among other delightful things.
Okay, so Creation officially, even though I called it early, Reunited is going to await the winner of our next match, which is Luminosity Gaming versus Gale Force Esports. Now, the grudge match that we mentioned is that Gale Force Esports used to be a team called Code 7. They handed LG a pretty bad defeat several weeks ago, and yeah, LG looking for revenge there.
All right, so okay, LG and Gale Force, they're just Gale Force didn't beat LG. I misheard that. So they're still fighting right now.
Yeah.
So LG is still very much because I think that would be an upset. And yeah, those two teams do have.
They're playing now. Yeah.
Okay, so that just started. So all right, we might be moving right in the winners finals because that apparently got delayed that heavily. And then the other team will take the loser. We're gonna figure this out. We'll be back in about 4 minutes with either the winners finals or waiting for this to finish up. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in just a moment.